Hey Shivananda, so we've got more essays from you. Great. Let's see what you have done here, shall we? Okay, so the given bar chart, it's not called a bar diagram, it's called a bar chart. So the given bar chart illustrates the number, not about, the given bar chart illustrates the number of Ford, Audi, and BMW cars sold in 2008 in 9 of the European countries. Okay. Overall, not the maximum, that's the wrong word. The most cars, or the highest number of cars, were sold in Hungary and France, and the least, not the minimum, and the least number of cars sold were in Belgium. Fine. It is interesting to note that cars from all three companies were purchased in equal proportions in Hungary, France, and Poland. In Hungary, each company sold well above 125 cars, and the total number of cars reached almost 400. People in France purchased about... All right, I'm confused here. This is not an overview, so I don't understand this. I want to be a little different. So here's your overview. That's fine. What you need to do then is you need to make sure that it's clear that we're working on a new paragraph here so that the examiner understands that you're done with the introduction and the overview part, and then you're going into the details. Now, paragraphing is not the most important thing in task 1, but it is very helpful, and it certainly is the mark between a good answer and a very good answer. So let's see if we can work on that. What I'd like you to do is, first of all, have some clear paragraphs. You could do an introduction and an overview in one paragraph, all right, and then you could have 1 to 2 detailed paragraphs for a total of anywhere between 3 to 4. Alternatively, you could have, right, so I mean essentially it should be 3 to 4 paragraphs depending on whether you put your overview and your introduction together, all right, in one paragraph. That's an option. And then you should probably have 1 to 2 paragraphs for your description, for your details, okay? So let's try it again. Now, let's assume here that you've left a space here. That's the other thing I want to say. The best way you can show the examiner that you are creating paragraphs is by leaving an entire line between each paragraph. So write a paragraph and then keep a line, then write a paragraph and then keep a line, okay? So let's pretend that this is clearly a new paragraph. It is interesting to note that cars from all three companies were purchased in equal proportions in Hungary, France, and Poland. In Hungary, each company sold well above 125 cars, and the total number of cars sold reached almost 400. Fine. People in France purchased about 100 cars from each company, and its annual car sales were above 300. Germany, Ireland, and Holland were the three countries which, because they're not people, they're countries, which touched the target. It's not a target. Nobody was aiming for 250, so this is the wrong word. So instead, Germany, Ireland, and Holland were the three countries that reached to about 250 car sales in that year. While BMW was popular in Germany and Ireland, Ford did very well in Holland. This was followed by UK and Italy, which purchased about 200 and 100 cars respectively. The least number of cars were bought by the citizens of Belgium, and most of the cars purchased were by Ford. In different countries, different companies sold, not percentages. Nobody's talking about percentages, so careful. Okay, various figures of cars. Something like that would have been better. Okay, now apart from all of this discussion about your paragraphing, I can't really say that I found the way you organized your answer particularly helpful. Let's see. Basically, one good way to do this is to have one paragraph which describes the total number of cars sold in the countries, okay? And a good way to do this is by providing ranges. So you can talk about the first country, the second country, and then you can talk about the least countries, and then you could talk about the total numbers for the ones in the middle, okay? Then here it's important to talk about, in the next paragraph, talk about the details. So talk about the individual car companies and the most important information there. Now, you have to be careful because essentially you have 27 different pieces of information, right? Because you have 9 countries and 3 different cars, so that's 27 individual pieces of information. You obviously cannot cover all of them, but you can at least give a good overview of that information and highlighting some of the specifics, okay? So that's why I would have done this. I can't really say that I'm particularly crazy about the information you selected and the way you organized it. So, but the grammar was okay. Nothing too serious there. So let's take a look now at your task 2. With modernization of lifestyle, man has built taller buildings and bigger cities, but has paid little attention towards solving the problems arising in such cities. That sentence is fine except for this, modernization of lifestyle. It's awkward and I don't think it's entirely accurate, so I would have liked it to be a little different. Okay, so one major concern is that of pollution, which arises due to various reasons and causes dreadful damage to human civilization without the. The following essay enumerates a few, not few, that means almost none, a few of the reasons for this hazardous situation, also mentions possible solutions as to that situation. Okay? So, that's fine. Let's move on. Firstly, improper lowercase, it's the same paragraph, it's the same sentence, so you don't need to capitalize the second word. So, firstly, improper planning of cities, get rid of the, is the main cause for this problem, as one can understand that people who live in the city need all the basic amenities like clean water supply, good drainage system, a good drainage system, proper waste disposal. Alright, no, this is grammatically wrong. So it's not as one can understand, it should be one can understand that people who live in the city need all the basic amenities like clean water supply, a good drainage system, proper waste disposal, and healthy air to breathe. This takes a big deal. I don't like the word big deal. This takes considerable effort for the state authorities to plan properly. Implementing, I don't know what you're trying to say here. Implement unbiased and regular monitoring of these amenities. I have no idea what this is trying to say. I really don't, I'm afraid. There are several areas in the cities where these very basic facilities are lacking. This leads to health hazards of the inhabitants. For example, stagnant water due to improper drainage may breed mosquitoes, which in turn can spread dreadful diseases. The remedy for this could be that the municipalities have to take rigorous steps, no A, to plan the areas of dwellings well ahead and provide the essential facilities for the people. The major role of the municipality lies in proper waste disposal. By doing that, I feel half of the problem is solved. Okay, alright, I'm not going to comment yet. I want to keep going. Secondly, poor knowledge and negative attitude of the citizens of the cities contribute. Alright, let's contribute for the problem. No, grammatically that's absolutely wrong. Secondly, poor knowledge and the negative attitude of city citizens, make it cleaner, contribute to the problem. Most people lack the knowledge of environmental safety, and those who know have a bad attitude of, I don't know what this means. What does that mean to have a bad attitude about spoiling the environmental safety? I'm really confused. Many keep their motor engines on in traffic signal, even when they have to wait for more than 5 minutes. This is awkward. We don't say this. I don't know what you're trying to say. When what? Stopped at a traffic light? And if that's the case, what kind of traffic light lasts more than 5 minutes? So that's confusing as well. It leads one to believe that maybe you don't mean in traffic signal and maybe you mean something else. And so it just adds to the confusion. Okay? So it doesn't make sense logically, and then since it doesn't make sense logically, you then start to wonder if maybe grammatically something is happening, or lexically even. Excuse me. This will spill more toxic gases into The atmosphere where they live. Get rid of the in. When illiterate people migrate to cities, they do not know how to maintain the environment clean, and they dump their domestic waste in inappropriate places. They are least bothered about the ill effects it can cause their own health. Okay, so I want you to watch out with this word, illiterate. Just because someone does not know how to read or write does not mean that they are not environmentally aware. So I would not have used this word here. And we don't say maintain the environment clean. We say to maintain the environment or to keep the environment clean. And then you needed some sort of a linker here. You needed some sort of punctuation, but this is really awkward right here. So you could have said as a result, or and in fact they are not bothered about the ill effects it can create to their own health. As a solution to this situation, more and more awareness programs have to be conducted in society without the to create awareness among people. You just said awareness. Awareness programs to create awareness, that's kind of implied, so use another word. Academic universities in that locality have, with a VE, to design intervention programs, S, and make the students conduct, note 2, such programs in the locality. At least a few may change following such intervention. Okay, new paragraph. This is why we always say to leave spaces between your paragraph, because this one ended right here at the end of the line. So it doesn't look like this is a new paragraph. Don't assume that the examiner is going to see the expression to conclude and is going to say, oh, okay, so this is the conclusion. No, you have to absolutely very clearly delineate where your paragraphs begin and end. So do that by leaving a space between your paragraphs. To conclude, while it is, we don't use contractions, we write the full word out. So, to conclude, while it is good to build large cities, it is equally essential to maintain a healthy environment and allow people to evolve into their new selves. Well, it is the duty of the state authority to plan cities and supply facilities in a clean and proper manner. It is expected from the citizens to make the best use of such facilities without exploiting nature and maintaining a clean environment. Okay, there are a number of problems in this essay. First of all, as I've already talked about, your paragraphs are not clear where they begin and where they end. I've already talked about that. A lot of grammatical problems, a lot of word choice, but primarily grammar. So a lot of it was troubling. It made it difficult to follow, made it difficult to understand what you were trying to say. It created a strain. So you have to be careful about that. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure your ideas are clearer. So I really want you to work on your grammar a little bit. That's we have resources for you that can certainly help, but definitely try to revise some of your grammar. Okay? All right. I don't mind the way you did this. You did it in a way that's a little different from what a lot of people do. Most people write about the problems in one paragraph and then they write about the solutions in another paragraph. You decided instead to talk about the problems in one paragraph and again in the solution, then the solution to that problem in the same paragraph. That is okay to do as long as you delineate clearly that, okay, well now I'm talking about the solutions. You did it here. Where did that go? I saw it just a second ago. The remedy for this could be, etc., etc. So that's fine as long as you do that, all right? And that's also good if each particular problem has a very specific solution. Some problems don't have a specific solution, or perhaps, I don't know, sometimes the solutions that you want to offer are different than the problems you mentioned. So what you did is fine. I don't mind it like that. All right, go ahead and correct these essays now. Shivananda, return them back to us corrected, add to your error correction list, and let's see what you write us next time. Please be a little more careful with the grammar, aware of your paragraphing. Yes, okay? So let's see what you write next time. Good luck.